Hi, this is Francis Daniel. I'm the CEO of the Semi-Professional Football League. We're here just to give an overview, have a small discussion on how far we've reached in, 6 months? I have with me here Roger from South Castries. I have Ryan from Central Castries. It's kind of fortunate that these two gentlemen are with us because South Castries is really the top team in the qualifying round in Tier 2, while Central Castries has a similar position but in Tier 1. The idea behind this tournament, it's not only about football like you've heard me say before, it's more about professionalizing the sport. Yes, we do offer a stipend to players and the technical team, but it's a lot more than that. To date, we've had 81 games. 81 beautiful games, I must say. We've had something like 140 goals scored in Tier 1, and likewise, we've had somewhere in the region of 122 goals scored in Tier 2. We have, 11 of our players who are participating in the SPFL, participating on the national team. And I want to start off with Ryan. Tier 1, give us an indication of what you've seen at the start and where we are as far as SPFL, the 81 games that we've played to date, and what are your expectations for the playoffs going forward?
Well, I think we have to say that I think there were a lot of doubters when the St. Lucia Semi-Professional League was announced, even when it started. What we have seen is that there's a wonderful growth that has taken place over those 80-odd games. And people are more interested in what is happening in our local football more than ever. We also have to say that the streaming of the games actually represents a very wonderful addition, not only from the perspective of spectators who are unable to make the grounds, but for the teams. Teams now have games that they could review, to readjust, to tweak, to change, to come better again for the next game. So there's a lot that has been happening with our players, specifically with regards to the team and more so with the Central Castries team. We've seen our attendance in the main training to be exceptional. We have registered 30 players, and on a regular basis, we would have had 20, 22, 23 players at training, and that is a step in the right direction, not just for Central Castries, it's a step in the right direction for football locally, and even further, what it does is it puts players in the realm of what is expected at the national level. The more football we have, the more professionalism that we exercise, the better we become, the wider the pool for selection with regards the national team selection.
Roger,
yes, sir.
Your team appeared to be, how can I put it, flying under the radar, because when we first started, no one really spoke to South Castries being on top of the table when the dust settled.
Yes.
And what we saw happening, given some of the constraints, and one of them I remembered, I seem to have become very unpopular so to speak, the arch enemy of football, when I put my foot down and I suggested that I will not postpone a South Castries game to keep things going, yes, so we can finish on time, because at the time South Castries in everyone's mind had a legitimate reason in that some of the marquee players were stranded overseas.
Yeah.
But what was driving me was that South Castries registered 40 players.
Yes.
And if you have 7 players overseas, you have 23 players, right, gentlemen?
Yes.
So you should give your second team a chance. And what I saw in your second team, they actually dethroned Beaufort South in a game everybody expected Beaufort South to win, and I saw this broad smile on your face, and I too felt satisfied. So tell me from your vantage, how your district see the semi-professional football league, what are some of the positives, and how it has assisted your district, your region, your players, your technical staff. Give me
of course,
synopsis.
Let me say thank you very much for having me here. Of course, the semi-pro coming on board has created an atmosphere for our players that I think that has been waiting and longing for a very long time. We've seen a different attitude towards football with regards to our players. Quickly, I just want to share that 3 years ago, South Castries Football League was not active at all. No football played in South Castries 3 years ago. A committee was put in place quickly to revitalize clubs. That committee went on the ground, revitalized clubs in South Castries, and an executive was voted in at the time. 3 years. 2 years ago, we brought in a new coach and a new technical team. And the coach and technical team sat and we put in a 3-year plan for our district team. 2 years into that plan, we are right now. We've seen a difference in training. We've seen a difference before. South Castries used to have training 6, 7 players, 8 players are training. Now, on average, we have about 23 players are training regularly, right? Regularly. And of course, we're not just, and we say to our players all the time, we're not just, it may sound like a cliche, we're not just a team. We create that family environment with our young players and let them see how important they are to the team, and they are representing a district, a community that believes in them.
I really like the positive spin both of you have placed, especially as you all head the table. In fact, you all focus on people development, seeing camaraderie, group development, which is really dovetailing well. Bear in mind, gentlemen, that we're talking about the inaugural year. We're sure to have a post-mortem where we're going to be sitting in the SLFA and our participants to see where do we go from here. Okay, but before that happens, let's just give a synopsis as to what happens for the playoffs going forward. In Tier 1, we have leading the standings Central Castries, followed by Grosile. Then we have Dennery and Leclerc. Now, we've changed the playoffs slightly, guys. We've changed the playoffs slightly, where we are adopting a more competitive approach to the playoffs, and it really helped, because going down to the wire, nobody took their foot off the gas. So going forward, our playoffs are going to be like this. Well, I should mention that in Tier 2, we have Central Castries, South Castries, Ancillary, Roseau, and Beaufort South. So going forward, our first playoff date would be on Saturday, September 21, the 21st of September at the Dennery playing field, where we'll have a doubleheader. In the first game, South Castries will come up against Ancillary. The second game at 8:30, Central Castries will come up against Grosile. Okay, these games are what we consider to be qualifier 1. The winner of this game, Tier 1, Tier 2, will go and take a seat straight into the finals. We'll wait. The loser has a second bite at the cherry. so the loser will wait. Sunday is when we're going to have what we consider to be our eliminators. Okay, so again at 6:30 we have Roseau coming up against Vieux-Fort South, followed by Dennery versus Leclerc. On that evening, 2 teams will go home. That's why it's called an eliminator. You would be eliminated. The winner of those games will now, a week later, play the loser of the previous game. All right? The team I said that got the second bite at the cherry. And that is all scheduled for the 2nd of October. Our finals is carded for Sunday, October 6th. Okay? Sunday, October 6th is when we're going to have the finals of Tier 1 at 6:30, and at 8:30 it's going to follow. We're going to have the finals for Tier 1. First playoff date is Saturday, 21st of September. Eliminate qualifier 1. Okay. South Castries versus Ancillary. Central Castries versus Grosley. Sunday, September 22nd, we have Roseau facing Vieux-Fort South and Dennery facing Leclerc. I think it's a really mouth-watering fixture, folks.
Yes.
And eager, anxious to see you guys go at it. I only urge that the 21st is not as far as you think.
No.
Okay, that you use the time between now and then, to sharpen your skill sets. We will have the cameras on you, folks. We will be speaking to all the participating districts between now and then, because we'll be doing some more promotional stuff, because like we say, we want to make sure that we really pack the Dennery playing field to make this playoff a spectacle. All right, gentlemen, again, thanks for gracing us with your presence.
Yes,
thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
All right.